We're about to learn a very powerful piece by Rebbe Nachman, which, as we've titled, is about self-esteem, faith, and really a belief in self, a belief that things in life are going to be good, things in life are good. And we're going to see this teaching by Rebbe Nachman. Let's have a look together. Keshamar li inyan hanidfas v'lokutei tanina, siman pei vav al posuk. Mikoitze ruach ha'avoda kosha. There's a concept that the Jewish people were unable to hear, and what stopped them from hearing is a lack of air, mikoitze ruach, ma'avoda kosha, and a difficulty of labor. Had so much work to do, so much that they had to engage with. And they were unable to hear the word of Hashem. Shalidei, he explains, Shalidei katnus emuna, tzrichen avodas kashes. He says that when a person has a lack of emuna, which means a lack of faith, and we're going to try and understand what that faith means, they have to endure avodos kashes. They have to have very difficult labor. Ein sham amarati lefanav kemishtoimem amachshavtai haytumeim beinyan ze ki nidme li sheyesh li emuna ktsas. So when I was standing before the Rebbe, which was Rebbe Nachman, Rebbe Nosson was saying, it seemed that he was almost indicating that I had a lack of faith. Are you telling me I have a lack of faith? The Rebbe Nosson was saying to Rebbe Nachman, that I have to have such difficult labor, harsh, difficult experiences in life because I have a lack of faith? That's what you're telling me. Listen to what he says. Ana va'amar b'lashon garak tzas ka'omer. He answered me, V'im yesh lecha emuna, ein lecha emuna ba'atzmacha. Check this out. He says, and if you even want to say you have emuna, if you even want to say you have faith in Hashem, your faith is essentially lacking. Your faith is essentially scarred because you don't have faith in yourself. Ein lecha emuna ba'atzmacha. You don't have faith in yourself. V'hizker miyad, maimer Rabbi Seinu Zochan Nevrocha, and he immediately recalled a teaching from the rabbis. Kimi vaz liyom katnois. Who will be buzz for the day of smallness? Who will be bizbuz? Bizbuz is like a state of being embarrassed or undermined. Who will undermine the day of katnus, of smallness? Mi gorem netzadikim she's bazbez shulchanim nasidave. So he explains, you know what causes the righteous to lose out, to undermine their tables in the future? Katnus, a lowness, a smallness. Meaning, what will cause the righteous, the ones that have emunah in Hashem, they believe in God, they believe in the providence of Hashem, they believe in the Torah and mitzvahs, but nevertheless, they undermine their tables in the world to come, which means they undermine their portion. They essentially live in a detached way of life. What is it going to be? The concept of katnus. Sheyeh behem ba'atzman, shelo yeheminu behem ba'atzman. He explains that what is the fundamental thing that will cause people to lose their way, that will cause people to essentially be detached from the concept of their portion in the world to come, which means essentially a spiritual existence now. What is it going to be? It's that they lack a faith in themselves, that they didn't believe in themselves. They believed in God, but they didn't believe in themselves. We're going to try and understand what that means. Rashi Zichron in the Bracha, Peirish Sham, Kipshutai, Katnus Emuna, Aval Midaktek Lashon HaGemara, Shama Sham, Katnus Shebehem Nira Mivor Divrei Rabbeinu Zichron in the Bracha, She'ika Katnus Emuna Shalhem, Hai Behen Ba'atzman. He says that when you say a person has Katnus Emuna, has a smallness, or a lowness, or a diminished state of faith, what is it actually a reference to? It's actually that they have a smallness and a diminished faith in themselves, which means that they lack a self-esteem, they lack a feeling that Hashem is looking after them, they lack a positivity about life, they never feel good enough, they always feel like, all right, listen, you know what? Why should life smile on me? Why should Hashem actually soften my experience of this world? Why do I have to have faith that Hashem is looking out for me and that things are going to be okay? That Hashem doesn't want an infamy type of thing. Hashem wants to look after me, that everything should be good, and that I have everything that I need to do good, and that there's so much opportunity, and Hashem's going to give me a direction. Why do we doubt ourselves like that? And we'd still come along and say, we believe in Hashem, we believe in God, we believe in the Torah and mitzvahs, but, I'm not such a worthy person, or life's not really there to look out for me. Why do we do that? So what Rebbe Nachman is saying here is because we are essentially lacking in our faith. We essentially have what is referred to as katnus emunah, smallness in faith. If a person doesn't believe in themselves, if the person doesn't believe that they are a portion of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if a person doesn't believe that Hashem is smiling upon them and actually looking out for them and wants the best for them, then they have katnus emunah. Yesh lefarish lefizeh shlo yaminu b'HaKadosh Baruch Hu shetoiv lekol. This is what he explains. What does it mean that they have a smallness in faith? Right here in the smack bang in the middle. Is that they don't believe that Hashem is toiv lekol, that is good to all, v'hem chashuvim, and that they are important, ugedolim be'einav, and great in Hashem's eyes, yisparach, u'machmas zeh haya behem katnus, and because they don't have that understanding of how important and how great we are in the eyes of life, in the eyes of Hashem, they have katnus, they have smallness. This is the main disability or main deficiency of faith, is having low self-esteem, is katnus ha'emunah shalem, mashlo yaminu behem ba'atzmam, that they didn't believe in themselves. V'yesh lechavin gam meferish Rashi bezeh, v'aklal hamuva midvarav shadam sarich shelo emunah ba'atzmai. He's learning out from the words of Rashi that a person has to have emunah, not only in Hashem, but emunah in themselves. Shegam hu choviv b'enei Hashem. That even I am beloved in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yisparach ki lefi gedulas toivase shel Hashem yisparach gam hu gadol chashav be'einav. Even though Hashem is so grand, Hashem is so endless, Hashem takes heed and Hashem takes interest and Hashem takes love in me. Chashav be'einav. And I'm great and beloved and important in HaKadosh Baruch Hu's eyes. Ukvar mavor inyan zeh kama pamim. He says, and don't come along and say, gosh, that sounds very arrogant, to come along and say that I am so great, grand and great, to say that I'm so big. Isn't that the epitome of arrogance? Aren't we meant to be humble people? He says, no, this has got nothing to do with humility. He says, in truth, we have to ask Hashem a lot to try and get into the element or the real attribute of what it means to be humble. And he explains that in another place. Siman Samach Aleph, B'Chelek Harishon, V'Sham Hizkerin in Chisaron Emunah Ba'atzmai, Ayin Sham. So he says another place there that he deals with this concept. And he says finally there, a component of a person who doesn't have faith in themselves, doesn't have faith in understanding that HaKadosh Baruch Hu looks out for them, that Hashem loves them, that Hashem wants the best for them, that Hashem is in you, that there's a power of the HaKadosh Baruch Hu inside of you. You know, the concept of Godspeed, you know, that Hashem is in us, that we have such strength and potential. Why do we doubt ourselves so much? That's essentially stemming from what we are referring to as a katnus ha'emunah, a smallness in faith. And the ability to have faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to have emunah, essentially and intrinsically is linked to faith in self. Faith in understanding that I am able, I have HaKadosh Baruch Hu behind me, in me. And he concludes to say that it's generally the people who don't believe in themselves that have something called machlokes, that have something called argument. Because the only way to instate the self is through arguing. The only way to instate the self and to feel powerful and to feel a sense of self is to overcome the other. But when a person works on their own emunah, and emunah, Rebbe Nachman is teaching us, is essentially, again, inextricably linked to emunah ba'atzman, but emunah in the self, belief in the self that I have the strength and have the ability to do. Then we tap into the essence of emunah. Yet, so many people think, no, what's emunah? We believe in Hashem and doubt ourselves. Constant doubt, constant negativity about the self, constant saying I'm a failure, I'm unable to do. Yes, I believe in Hashem, but I can't do it. No, I don't have the strength, I don't have the power, I don't have the charisma, I don't have the self-esteem, etc., etc. No, we have everything. How does that fit into humility is a separate discussion. But let's see what you guys say and your... I'll just let you rename yourself. That's not what we need. Okay, if anyone wants to ask a question here or engage with this topic of discussion, we'll leave a few moments. Yes, Carol.
Okay. I just wanted to share something with you that just, for me, encapsulates exactly what you're saying, a situation in my life. I think when Rachel, my daughter, left Phyllis Joel to go to Herzliya, the rabbi said to her, Rachel, you must think about this. Maybe you want to go to Cape Town Torah High because, you believe in Hashem, but are you going to be able to live the life? Or are you going to be able to remain religious? And she turned around and she said to him, Rabbi, I don't have to believe anything. I don't have to believe in Hashem because I love Hashem.
Beautiful.
So that is just, I don't have to believe it. I believe it. I am it.
Yes. And I think that's a very important concept here that you're teaching us here, Carol. And that is the ability not only to believe in Hashem, to live Hashem. And, the concept of living Hashem is expressed in understanding that Hashem, to have a confidence in ourselves, that Hashem hasn't forgotten you, that Hashem isn't, turning his back on you, that Hashem isn't undermining you and life isn't undermining you. This is a perfect plan, and we have the ability, and Hashem wants greatness for every individual. And having belief in the self and belief in our ability means that we live Hashem. We live it in our lives. Very, very powerful concept here. Carol, thank you for sharing that. Yes, Philip, you have a question.
Rabbi, I think it's very important that if one is studying Torah and getting back to Judaism and what you said is very true, but I also think that it's very important to be part of a community. That you're part and that you can study with a community, that you can have your conversations, your arguments, your questions, and that makes a person want to be part of the learning process, and it binds one with Judaism and the community, and I think that's very important. It gives one the confidence.
Thank you,
of
Philip.
the whole thing.
Very true. Yeah, I think to have a group that you engage with in a positive way can definitely create that confidence. But what we're learning here, and I appreciate that, thank you, Philip, is the essential innate confidence that it should exist in a person by virtue of the fact of their faith. Faith in Hashem means confidence in the self. It is not contradictory to confidence in the self. Many people say, I have faith in Hashem, and because of that, they think by not having confidence in themselves and undermining themselves constantly and saying that I can't and feeling all negative, that means that I have greater faith in God. No, that means you have small faith in God because God created you and you are beloved to Hashem. If you don't live God, as Carol shared with us, if you don't live God, which means within your own confidence of self, then you're essentially lacking in faith. And faith, that lacking, will affect the future, will affect your spiritual wealth, will affect your ability to connect. Because if you think, what is the biggest impediment to spiritual development and spiritual consciousness and presence? Is that a person is constantly worrying. A person constantly thinks, I have to justify my existence. I have to justify my place in this world. To a certain extent, we have a responsibility to this world. We have to constantly be asking ourselves, Hashem loves us so much. Hashem is constantly giving to us, constantly loving us, no matter what. It's not premised on anything. It's an ahava she'eina tluya b'davar. Hashem's love to us is not dependent on anything. And we have a responsibility. What are we going to do to this world? What are we going to engage with this world? How are we going to discover Hashem in this world? But it's not that Hashem has it in for us. And if we don't, Hashem wants to punish and Hashem wants to undermine and life has to be horrible. No. Faith in the self, faith and confidence and understanding that Hashem is behind us constantly, yeah, is essentially a faith in Hashem. Yeah. So let's see if anyone else has an insight here. If they want to share a question. Ilan, how's your chocolate there? Good. All right, guys. It should be with bracha. Thank you for joining us. And Hashem should strengthen our faith, not only in Him, but essentially we should be... Oh, Ilan. Yes, Ilan, what do you have? A question for us? No.
Just getting ready to say thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Elanchik. Thank you, guys. Lots of bracha to you all, and we should
Thanks, Rabbi.
in the confidence of self. All the best, guys. Be blessed.
Thanks, Rabbi. Lovely message. Thank you.
Thank you.